Good morning, Sonder family. It's a super Saturday to dig in to our journals, looking at these abundance prompts and working on our abundance jar. I am Jennifer Ogilvy, and some of you may have been with me last night. We did a little coloring meditation, and I'm excited that I got to wake up to a super Saturday with you and get going, and just the honor of being your facilitator this morning. I'm proud of you for taking time this morning to set aside moments for your self-care. Joining me on the call this morning, my co-facilitator, Malika, is coming to us from California. She is on camera giving you a wave, and she's going to be in the chat, which it looks like it could move really quickly this morning because there's a lot of us. So don't worry about that. But if you have any questions, be sure to drop those in the chat, and she can direct you to an answer or the right resources to find the answer to your questions. Make sure very quickly that your personal chat is set to everyone. That way, when we share, we all see it. If you see host and panelist, that message is only going to Malika and myself, and your Sonder family won't be able to see that. And sometimes, depending on the device that you are on, it could keep defaulting back to host and panelist. So you might have to reset that. You are already entered into our monthly self-care raffle by being here. Anytime you attend a social, you are entered into that. So good luck there. I did put a little tip on our hold screen at the front. If you don't have some colors available, we're going to be doing an activity today that you might want to add color to, but no worries if your markers are in another room and you are settled in, just that's okay. But that was just a tip for something that we're going to do. I see that we are spanning coast to coast. So I am coming to you from the Dallas, Texas area. I saw some fellow Texans there. A couple of you are from the Houston area. That is home to me, but I have relocated in the last couple of years to be closer to one of my kiddos in our retirement. And I'm now in the Dallas, Texas area. So this is going on my second full year of being part of Silk and Sonder, being able to facilitate with you guys, but also being able to use this journal. I have a new chapter in my life with retirement, and this journal has helped me with that productivity part of my life that I'm missing from being working outside of the home, but it also has helped me dig into this second chapter of my life by using these journal prompts and doing a lot of self-reflection. And speaking of self-reflection, that is one of the reasons you will see that Silk and Sonder has a monthly theme. When we look at ourselves through the lenses of the themes of each month, it helps us get to know ourselves better. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes the themes, when you really start digging in, help you with that soul searching, and they're a little scratchy and they don't feel comfortable. But man, once we've dug in, we've gotten to know ourselves better, and we can continue to grow. Every day's a new day. Oh, Steph says she's in a new chapter of her life. That empty nesting, that's a biggie. I tell you, you think you get, you raise your kids to leave, and then you're sad when they do. But good job, they left. So you pat yourself on the back for that. So our agenda this morning, we're going to dive into this thought of abundance by doing kind of a fun activity. Then we will dig into the abundance journal prompts on page 14. And I'm going to be honest with you. I started using Silk and Sonder for the productivity, the habit tracking, and the accountability with how I structured my days. And didn't always want to dig into the journal prompts. And through this community, that's the way that I embrace these prompts, these pages that are not as comfortable to dig into. I think it works great to be with our fellow Sonder family members, that accountability, and to realize that I'm not alone in this journey or these feelings. There is not a better community that I've been a part of than the Sonder family. Then we're going to finish up the kind of latter part of our social with that abundance jar. And I have a lot of ideas for you to frame out your jar. And I'll tell you, if you've been to socials with me, you know that I love the jars. And I love bingos. So I always look forward to, I like to put those kind of toward the end because it's a very fun, positive way. And I see that you guys are sharing in the chat that you too find the support of that community to be so valuable as we dig into these. And I'm seeing a lot of life changes out there. Some not so fun things, but we're going to really lean into the abundance that we can find in our lives and that mindset that we can choose to have as we dig in. So let me talk about our opening activity. We're going to find a space in our journal, use an extra sheet of paper. Sometimes people will do their activities in a sidekick journal. Just to kind of have them all collected, or you can turn to a notes page. I use a notes page. I'm going to show you what my page looks like, but let me read this very quickly with you. We're going to sketch a rainbow with a pot of gold. And in the rainbow, we're going to write the things in our life that we're grateful for. And if you were part of Silk and Sonder last month, we had that gratitude jar. I actually went to that gratitude jar from December to kind of fill that in. And then we're going to look at that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and write the things that we want to manifest and attract into our lives. And if you're going through a hard time, this is the place to dig in and put those thoughts down on paper. What, because of this really tough thing, what does that mean in your life? What do you want to manifest and bring from that? And then we're going to use this prompt all month. And further as we look into what abundance means. So I can copy anything. I'm not a very good freehand artist, so I'll come back to this. I found this little easy drawing guide, so I threw that on there to get you started, and that is what my page ended up looking like. And then I laughed because I forgot to include the pot of gold, so I went back over with some white out and used my glitter markers or my glitter pens, and it popped that way. So I found this quote: gratitude turns what we have into what's enough. And that word enough, we're going to be looking at several times throughout our time together. And so in my rainbow, I just kind of did a free write. You could actually fill each color or each beam with different things. But just did a reflection on the things that I am grateful for right now in this very moment in my life. And then the things I want to manifest and attract. I want to become more invested in this newish community. We moved during COVID, very hard time to find a way to plug in. And I had a very strong community back in the Houston area. And I left a lot of those connections behind. And there's been grief with that. I'm a people person. I draw my energy from being around others. So that is something I want to manifest. I want to maximize the health that I do have with a positive attitude toward aging. This is a big year for me. It's my 60th birthday year. So I want to embrace the aging journey in a positive manner. Even though things are starting to hurt and break down, I still want to keep a good outlook and manifest the positive part of aging. And then I want to avoid just defaulting to that negative scarcity mindset when things don't go my way. So let me throw on some music. I'll go back and forth between our prompts so that you can get going with this and share as you are comfortable in the chat. Wow, Sonder family, thank you for taking a moment to embrace this prompt. You can come back to it throughout the month and add the things that may be revealed to you that you want to manifest, and also add to that gratitude. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. A couple of you have had some tough things come up over the last day or so, and we hold space for that. Just know that you are supported here. And I do want to just call out something that Cece put in the chat that I personally struggle with. I when I was talking about themes feeling uncomfortable, this is one that I think I'm going to really struggle with, because in my head, I want to be filled with abundance, but it is so hard to not let that pessimism come in. And Cece shared, she's grateful for her house, but the roof started leaking, and grateful for the hubby, but he's been sick all week. And personally, in my life, that's not always a good thing. um, it's always something. And I try so hard not to default to that, but I'm a worrier. I'm really good at that. And so that tends to just bubble up. So like my head knows one thing and my heart tends to go in another direction. So I have to be so intentional on how I frame things right in my head and what I'm grabbing onto. So I think a lot of us are going to be in that. And yes, you guys are sharing their struggles. We found out that we have a major thousands of dollars of home repair that we were not counting on. And I was just so blue yesterday, and I laid down and I did a little yoga with Adrian and tried to relax because I knew it would keep me awake all night. And there's nothing I can do about it but try to reframe my head. So I get it. I get it. We all get it. We're here together. We're going to just dive into this whole month and figure out what abundance means. So let's turn to page 14, and we are going to start with that abundance. The first prompt, I'm going to break this down into 3 little sessions so we can really just dig in. So before we do that, just stop for a moment and make sure that you've taken a couple of really good, deep cleansing breaths. And as you let that breath exhale, I would encourage you to say our affirmation today. I live an abundant life. That is the affirmation of the day in Sonder Club. So let's breathe in and exhale. I live an abundant life. Do that again. I live an abundant life. So let's look at that first question. How do you define abundance? And I have a couple of quotes I wanted to share with you. I thought it would frame that out. I found this in the Twitter feed from Brene Brown. And she says, I find that scarcity and abundance are 2 sides of the same coin, and that enough is the path. Thoughts. And that feed was very interesting as people framed out looking at kind of that abundance versus scarcity as claiming the word enough. And then the quote next to that on the right is from Oprah Winfrey. Be thankful for what you have. We all said we're kind of there. You'll end up having more if you concentrate on what you don't have, all the stuff. I have a house, but the roof is leaking. You will never, ever have enough. So let these 2 quotes kind of bounce around and think about what that means to how you define abundance. I'm going to play a song and I'll pop back in, share in the chat as you are comfortable. Okay, I know you were busy writing. If you have a chance, you may want to scroll back through this chat because there were some amazing thought processes happening in that chat. Some feel that abundance means a little more than enough. And then someone else said, as long as enough isn't like a bare minimum, like you are embracing all, that is enough. Um, yes, things like overabundance, and it's just so inspiring to read those things. So again, we're fortunate that we're at the front end of this month. We've got all the time of January to dig into what this truly means for us. And you may look back on this in a couple of weeks after you've worked through this lens and add to this abundance definition and what that means for you. Thank you so much for taking time to dig into that and share. So our next prompt is, when you're your most abundant self, what do you unlock? And how does that make you feel? And so I'm going to assume the majority of us have at least heard about Stephen Covey and it was groundbreaking, right? Like back in, I think it was written in 89, his most effective people, the 7 habits of most effective people. And he is the first one who kind of proposed this scarcity versus abundant mindset. And so I've taken, 7 habits of highly effective people. Thank you. And I threw a couple of things in this chart because I think this helps us look at our most abundant self when we are unlocked, and the things that create a scarcity mindset versus the things that create an abundance mindset. So that pessimistic versus optimistic. And Reverend Joy Ellen said she was a facilitator where she worked of the 7 habits of highly effective people. I love that. So that's probably just resonating in your soul, Reverend Joy Ellen. Thank you for sharing that. So obviously you can see it's that kind of yin and yang of the coin with the 2 sides. If it's scarcity, it's thinking small and avoiding risks. But abundance allows us to think big and embrace risks, not just take them, but embrace them. Scarcity, you think we have a deficit. Abundance, there's plenty, there's enough. If a scarcity mindset, you're going to always see the limits. That's where my worrisome self comes in, all the what ifs. But abundance brings us the opportunity to see all that could be. Thinking negative thoughts versus thinking positive thoughts. Fearing change instead of embracing change. You won't share knowledge. You share knowledge freely. I laughed at this one because when I can remember when I first entered the field of education, I found that a lot of teachers were very possessive over their lesson plans. And one teacher finally said, nothing's original. There is no reason we shouldn't all share. But we had such ownership in that. So I kind of think of that scarcity mindset with those early education years I had. A scarcity mindset means you don't offer help. You don't offer your time, but an abundant mindset means you are generous with others. So take a look at this question. And when you are your most abundant self, what do you unlock? And better yet, How does that make you feel? Let's work on this question. Share in the chat as you are comfortable.
Joyously create abundance. I easily
And words like
find and
generous,
joyously
inspired,
create
accomplished,
abundance.
proud, some stresses from too much, um, freedom, no worry, less stress. So lots of thoughts that are rolling around as we're kind of embracing what abundance is in our lives and what it means for self. And again, just because we're here today and working on this page doesn't mean that we're done. This may be something that you choose to look at on a weekly basis this month as we continue with our abundance journey. So let's take a look at that final question. How might you be able to use your abundance to serve others and the world? So this is a great question to frame that feeling of negativity that might come with too much abundance that was kind of showing up in the chat. Like, is there such a thing as the too much, and does that stress me out, and am I comfortable with that? So now let's, if we're feeling that way, how can we use that to serve others and the world? And in his book, Stephen Covey says, there's that mindset that there's just this limited amount of pie for everybody, right? And he says, instead, I have an abundance mentality. When people are genuinely happy at the successes of others, being cheerleaders, which is the best part of Sonder family, because I think we're here with each other, being happy for each other, embracing one another, lifting each other up. That pie gets larger. And I know that's how I feel when I spend time in the Sonder community. So there's that kind of, if that scarcity mindset is it's limited opportunities for everyone, but an abundance mindset means the world is full of opportunities. And so how do we take our abundance and use that to serve others and the world? Let's think on that one while we listen to some music and share as you are comfortable. Okay, lots of really deep, good sharing in the chat. I know if you are writing, it's hard to keep up with everything that is being shared in the chat. Again, you may not finish this page at this moment. It may be an ongoing process throughout the month. I did want to do a call out to something that Shelley posted. She said she finds herself very emotional with this question, and beautifully wrote, she works as a public defender, and she thinks of those clients who are in the lowest points of their lives, and they just feel like there's not any hope. And she says, I pray that by using my abundance, I can give them a renewed perspective on the world and to find value in their life. And I want to embrace that, Shelley, when I think about using my abundance to serve others in the world. Thank you for sharing that, to just go outside of myself, my abundance, and make people feel like they are valued, help remind them that they are valued. So yeah, it can be, we get kind of emotional sometimes at these beautiful gatherings with such lovely people. So thank you for sharing that. So let's take a deep breath. We're going to spend a little bit of time looking at that abundance jar. And I've pulled together some fun ways of tackling that jar. So some tips for the jar, and you'll find that, I think it's on page 21. Let's see. Yes, page 21, your abundance jar. You might want to refer to the journal prompts we just completed and just sort of continue your response as you grow through the month. This could become your enough jar, and writing to the areas in your life where you claim enough and find joy in that. Maybe you'll make a T chart about your abundance mindset and your scarcity mindset and sort of track how you can counter those feelings of scarcity with abundance. Maybe you'll fill your jar with the personal steps to an abundant life, some personal challenges you want to take on. And I said, or maybe you'll just plan a little garden and you can draw a garden there, and literally or figuratively, because remember, one seed equals an abundant harvest. And then there's a ton of other ideas. You can fill this abundance jar with your dreams, maybe the daily affirmations on abundance, or your rituals that you do. You can put the big thoughts of abundance there. Maybe there's a song that just the lyrics scream abundance to you. So you fill this jar with abundance. Maybe you'll do some personal fun stuff and create a TV, movie, podcast list, a log of what you're going to do if you're trying to maybe find some abundance in how you're taking time for yourself. You can fill it with drawings or a doodle of the day, a playlist of abundance songs. You could track savings and good money habits as you are figuring out what that looks like in the lens of abundance. Inventory of certain parts of your home, the things that you have to remind you of the abundance in your life. Just do a brain dump, things that you want to try this month, a list of firsts. That's a great way to frame abundance, connections that you want to make this month, favorite quotes, maybe a ta-da jar with the wins and accomplishments that you have in your life at this moment. Or perhaps you want to work on your relationship and do a date night or solo dates, and make it any kind of abundance tracker, just noticing the abundance in your life. And I have some great ways that people have set up jars in the past. We've had empowerment jars, gratitude jars, just for some inspiration, get you going on. You can do a free write like you see in the left picture of the abundance jar, or you can do some drawings in there. Here are some shapes, some stickers to fill those jars in however way you want to frame out the abundance. Great sticker quotes if you're a sticker person. I tend to be just, writing implement and paper. That's what I do. There's some other ways of filling that jar and then framing it out for your abundance. And you could even create a bingo board of abundance in your jar. To me, that's the perfect pairing, a bingo inside a jar, because I love both of those. So just again, some inspiration. I'm going to put on some music and you guys can kind of get started. Maybe think about how you want to use this jar and share in the chat what you will be filling your abundance jar with.
Abundance is all around me. Abundance is all around me. It's in the flowers, it's in the trees, it's in the honey, it's at your feet. It's in the stars stars that you see. It's our birthright, it's our birthright. So look around and see it everywhere. It's in your shoes, your hats, the clothes you get to wear. All I know, abundance is everywhere. Abundance is all around me. Abundance is all around me. It's in the earth you walk upon, a gentle breeze. It's in the water that bathes you, bathes you, bathes you with your friends. It's having a laugh. It's breathing fresh air and watering the plants. Listen around and hear it everywhere. It's with the bats, the bees, the birds that fly with flair. All I know, abundance is everywhere. Abundance is all around me. Abundance is all around me. It's in the green, green grass, the big blue ocean. It's with the whales and dolphins that play in splendid motion. It's in the carpet even, it's in the rug even. It's in the bed you sleep in, the sheets you drench with sweat even. So look around and feel it everywhere. It's with the people and the love you get to share. Breathe it in, breathe it out, breathe it in, breathe it out, breathe it in, breathe it out, breathe it in, breathe it out. Feel it here, feel it now, feel it in your blood and bones, feel it in your every cell, feel it being natural, feel it now, feel it now, feel it now, feel it now, yeah, you got feel it now, feel it now, feel it now. Feel it now, yeah, you got feel it now, feel it now, feel it now, feel it now, yeah, you got feel it now, feel it now, feel it now, feel it now.
Okay, so you guys have some ideas. I know sometimes when we turn to these empty pages, it's like, I don't know where to start. So I hope that these images from our fellow Sonder family members were inspiring to you. So our time together has come to an end. I want to encourage you to take the survey about your experience this morning and any feedback that you may have for your Silk and Sonder journey. Headquarters loves to know what you want. They work very hard to try to give you the tools that you are seeking in your journaling experience. So you can scan that QR code, but you'll also get a follow-up email for that. We are still running the Silk and Sonder Refer a Friend. So if you have someone very special in your life that you would like to refer to Silk and Sonder, please do so. Scan that QR code and they will get $10 and you will get $10, and everybody wins when they're part of this journey. If you're not part of the Sonder Club, I encourage you to join that wonderful community by scanning that QR code in the bottom middle of the page. That is where you're going to find support. We would love for you to share your pages as you've worked on them this morning, either the opening activity, maybe part of your journaling prompt if you're comfortable, or maybe how you're planning to use your abundance jar. And then finally, the YouTube link for our recordings of previous socials is there on the bottom right, and that is not searchable. So if you are brand new to our community, know that you need to bookmark this as a favorite, because it is just, it's a private channel just for you guys. So you'll need to make sure that you bookmark that as one of your favorite links. And finally, there are the songs plus a couple of bonuses that you heard this morning from the abundance playlist that I pulled together. I also dropped the link to that Spotify in the chat. I applaud you for taking time today to learn a little bit more about yourself, to frame out how your journey with abundance is going to be this month. And I look forward to seeing you again. Have a wonderful, abundant weekend, my friends.
I'm just so broke you won't believe. Can't get a dollar out of me. And as far as I can see, I'm losing control like a bad disease. No, I just can't get relief. I've been shot down by the life police. Cause every day I try to rise but I can't succeed. Can anybody find a cure for me? You can be bitter, 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 or you can be better, better, better. When life gives you lemons, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, little children, and don't complain. Whoa, remember you're golden. So find some sugar cane. When life gives you lemons, take lemonade. Hamma, hey, hamma, hey, hamma. Now every day is like a brand new year. I throw my hands up in the air like I just don't care. I'm on walking down the streets feeling like oh yeah. Well at the bottom of the glass now I see clear. So now I laugh just a little more. I stand much taller than I did before. I know I'm not where I need to be, but I thank God that I'm not where I used to be. I used to be bitter, 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 and now I feel better, better.